Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to White Knight, where we have left the mansion behind us, gone through some giant underground to find whatever this is. The door was locked, but Selena was the only thing that mattered at that time.
I knew it. The scent of blood in the air. It was hers. Anger was growing in me. Thinking about William stabbing her with a blade. But it wasn't over yet. Oh no. I was going to save her. It didn't matter where the wolf would hide. I would skin it.
Right. What am I even looking at? Stabbed and losing a lot of blood, Selena still had that animal fear that made her stronger. She was on the run and I was with her. We were escaping the night, but the night was still ahead of us and the worst was yet to come. All right. So I presume we're looking at this door next. The door was locked, but Selena was the only thing that mattered at that time. Okay. I'm sure this is important. The dagger fit the hole perfectly. It was the key. Okay, hold on. That symbol is next to the V. Which is there. But what does that mean? Like, what do I do with this knowledge? Okay, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, let's reset the symbols by walking on a few of them. So 1 is on the triangle with the weird syringe. 2 is the... So where is that? That 2 is the negatives, or that symbol with the line through it, which is down here. 3 is The half moon. Where was the half moon? There's the holy hand grenade. There's the half moon. 4 is one of the 2 holy hand grenades. What is the difference between the 2? One is facing towards the circle, one is facing away? Ah, okay. So we want the one that's facing away, which is the one over this way, I presume. And then 5 is just the triangle. Just the plain old... Was that good? I don't think that was good. I think I stepped on the wrong one. Let's try that. That is the one that I should have gotten. Stop wasting matches. Jesus. Now that isn't the one. Where was the correct button? I think that's the one. And then the last one was just the triangle. Okay. There we go. So now that I think we know we are in a world of impossible night.
New scents started filling the air again. Sea spray, moist soil, plants. Soon after, I could hear rain and thunder. She had guided me on the way out. She had saved my life. But as all prisoners know so well, you're not free just because you can see the sky. This was just another setting for the same tragedy.
The grave of William... I am literally pulling myself out of the grave of William Vesper. I feel like that is the most obvious clue that you are William Vesper. All right. So now that I've gotten out... Oh, there's a for sale sign. Anybody buying? Would Selena be safer outside? No, death here didn't
As a conscientious
have the same
diva,
scent.
Selena walked to her grand finale. My fear was washed away by disgust. I was about to meet William.
I was back where it all started, a life ago. Oh. Not in that direction, I guess. Oh, what is this? It is nothing. It is just a shoe. Where am I trying to go? Like, the game is still kind of... Like, it's... I'm extremely limited as to where I'm... what I have access to. Do I just run past the car?
Me. And I had killed her. I had killed the only beautiful thing in the world. The only one which could save me. I'm sorry. It was me all along, Selena. The son of a bitch. The sicko. The killer. The wolf. The filth. The bastard. The scum. Oh, you should have let your mother kill you. You should have undone what she did. You knew, and yet you let me have a second chance, Selena. Let me go on till the end. The memories of what I had done were coming back slowly. Like the tide washing ashore the rotten corpses from a wreck. Selena was lighter than a pillow. The real weight was all those years of filth stored in my memory. Images. The blade I sunk deep into the stomach of my own mother. Those dark-haired women. Those hated clones of Margaret, split from head to toe as a sacrifice to the moon. Their organs displayed carefully, like some child fresco.
Oh, I have
Selena
a choice.
On the stage of smoke and mirrors. The glass I used to toast with her. The first time we talked. Her tears. The letters in which she told me about losing her kid. how her husband had been murdered. And our kiss. The blade I used to stab her. My father and the father of my mother died from the same madness. The same poison that men injected into the economic system they had created. On October 29th, 1929, millions of casualties. The scent of blood. And for the wolves, the beginning of the hunt.
From William to Selena, I've just finished reading your letter. Never had anyone open their hearts so fully to me. I remember you asked yourself how it was possible that your voice would match my piano so perfectly. You and me are lost souls, my dove, but you are full of light, whereas I've been crawling down the abyss far too long. I've told you some things, but not all of them. I didn't tell you about the blood on my hands. If you knew, one can't do anything against this fear. You don't come back from this darkness. It drives you crazy. Sometimes I forget this simple fact. I'm a madman. Your love reminds me of the monster I've always been. Your warmth, your perfume, that's the closest I'll ever be to heaven. You are incarnation of the moon, Luna. But neither of you was able to save me. That was not meant to be. This country needs wolves as much as it needs game. You will never receive this letter. Tonight you will expect me to love you and I will kill you. Because I am a shadow and I can't stand anything but darkness and night. Do I have to walk all the way back towards that? So I don't really have a choice. I just have the illusion of a choice. Or I'm just going to spend my time walking around in circles very, very slowly. Am I a little bit too far to the right? Oh my gosh. Also, where am I carrying her exactly? Like, I see a distant gravestone. Like, I find myself wondering, is the character I'm playing as, is William actually dead? Is he alive doing these things? Is he dead doing these things?
Selena's warmth was pulsing slowly in my arms, as the dark spot of my culpability was growing over her stomach. In the sky, the moon was watching me, her son, as I was taking my first steps, holding her daughter in my arms. A resurrection. A second chance. Selena was dying. I could tell from her body, tightly pressed against me. At times, her eyes would open and stare at me. Not a hint of anger or accusation. She could have let go. Let her light pass. Let my mother take me back. But she was protecting me. She was forgiving me. The moon was silently watching us as we made our last push through the night. Soon, dawn would come. The sun would wash away all that ink which had condemned us. Goodbye, Luna. Goodbye, Mother. This night had been too long already. In nature, forgiveness is part of a whole. It's part of a cycle, of a time frame, of harmony.  'Harmony. 'We had been waiting long enough. 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 'We had been waiting long eno I was trying to keep Selena warm as best as I could while she was holding on to my hand.
Can see that envy.
Selena had never really been a part of this world. The full moon was coming to take back one of her lost rays. I was watching her go, wondering if I would ever see her again. Probably a matter of cycle. I could wait. And it was a pretty night.
In memory of my brother Vincent Queffec, to my father Domenico. So yes, that was White Knight. Story had its twists and turns, some of it... Is that hand there to tell me to do something, or... Oh, never mind. So... Where do I even start? Like, because the way that the story ended, it still kind of leaves you wondering, was that real? Was that not real? I feel like the most important... Like, if I was going to say anything about the game critically, it's that a lot of the gameplay just does not work as much as the style wants it to. Like the collection of matches, the fleeing from the ghosts, the setup of the save points. Like, I wonder what could have been done to focus the intent better. Like, what could have been done to emphasize atmosphere over everything else. Recording at Quantic Dream. It is a French studio, I believe. Because, like, I don't necessarily feel that the collection of matches really improved the gameplay. Having a very narrow source of light was more interesting than collecting matches constantly and worrying about whether you had enough matches. Like, the save points made more of a plot sense, but it didn't have a very good functional sense when you included the fact that you could die in just a single touch and then have to redo a lot of gameplay. The fixed camera angles, I feel, made more cinematic sense, but not all... But it didn't necessarily work so well with the control system, which shifted every time the fixed camera shifts. And then I feel like the cameras themselves could have done a little bit better job highlighting the important things. Like fewer camera choices, but camera choices are always looking at something important. Like, consider the cellar, because that is one of the most recent parts of the game that I played, so I remember a little bit more. There's a sequence you're supposed to turn cranks in order to activate the boiler, but I could not find 2 of those 3 cranks. One of which I probably should have been able to figure out because you're supposed to move a lamp, but the other is at the end of a hallway. And when you step out in the hallway, it looks as though the end is very near, so you don't really have that much to explore in that direction. And it kind of forces you to almost pixel hunt over the shadows in hopes of finding what you're looking for. As a story, you've got, like, 3 levels of storyline. You've got your main character wandering through the mansion, trying to find his way out into the night. That's top layer story. Then you have like in-game's presentation of the story, you turn on a light and you view the environment. You have like very brief messages from your main character. That would be like, let's say, second layer. Third layer is tons of reading. And I wonder what they could, like, how much of that reading was really necessary towards the game, because that was a lot of interruptions of the gameplay. You're constantly interrupting your search of the mansion with reading. And I'm not saying that the reading was bad. It still told an interesting tale about the shift from 1920s era prosperity to 1930s era depression. The sudden influx of economic inequality, which has some dire, like in these times, it feels easy to look at these memoirs that are meant to be talking about the 1930s and look at modern economic times and the economic inequalities that we deal with today, and see some parallels. But if the goal of the game is to give you this incredible presentation and to kind of bring you into the atmosphere of the creepy mansion, stopping every few feet to read a diary, or to read an excerpt, or to read a journal, or to read a letter, it breaks the momentum. Having a ghost that can kill you in one hit breaks the momentum. Having to stop every so often to recollect matches. And I feel like there should have been a central pillar that should have been the focus. Like, if the central pillar is exploring this mansion and viewing it through that specific light, everything should have tried to serve that specific goal. Would they? And there are a lot of things that kind of pull away from it. I'm glad that I finally got around to playing it all the way through to the end. In the meantime, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.